The biggest danger isn't the things that you have to live without, but the things that you think you cannot live without. Evolution has wired us to chase comforts and distractions, mistaking them for necessities, and this is leading us down the path of dissatisfaction and unfulfillment. If you are struggling with motivation or feeling stuck, or some things in your life that are not going the way that you want them to, or you just want to focus your time and energy at the right places, this video is for you. In order to understand and think about these things deeply, you have to go through some hardships, because people who haven't seen any hardships often struggle to take things seriously. This is how I escaped the comfort trap, and I did it because I had to, because of what I do for a living, which is a lifestyle coach. However, comfort is not binary, it's a spectrum, and this is about how you move ahead of that spectrum. Today, I'm going to share something critical, something that most people often overlook. It's a concept deeply rooted in our evolutionary biology and have significant implications on how we live our lives today. I am talking about essential and non-essential things of life. And in this video, you will learn how to identify the essentials of life and how to distinguish them from non-essentials, and why this distinction is crucial for health, relationships, and freedom. And by the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding on how to focus your time and energy towards what truly matters. At the end of this video, I'm giving you guys a step-by-step actionable advice. So take a pen and paper, take notes, because there are going to be a lot of points in this whole video. And before we get into the details, you guys need to understand the difference between essential and non-essential things. So basically, essential things are the things that you absolutely need to survive and thrive. Without them, your survival is at risk. Like, think of water, shelter, meaningful relationships, purpose-driven work. Like, these are the essentials. And non-essential things are often enjoyable, convenient. These are the extras. These are not necessary for survival. These are the comfort, luxury, distractions, and all that. Like, the examples include junk food, social media, material possessions, TV shows, and all that crap. And understanding this distinction is like the first step to reclaiming control over your life. It's about cutting through the noise and getting to the basics, focusing on what truly matters. And now, let's break this down further. To live a fulfilling life, you need to focus on 3 core aspects, and I've arranged them in order of priority, high to low. So the first being health, like your physical and mental health, and the second being your relationships, which is basically family, love, and all that stuff. And third is freedom. For some people, it's financial freedom. For some people, it's geographical freedom. Everybody has their own idea of freedom, but basically you get that with money in 2024. So these are the 3 core aspects, and here's the kicker. Every single one of this aspect has their own essential and non-essential things, and when you understand that, you can navigate your life better. And that is exactly what I'm doing in this video, giving you guys the roadmap to fulfillment. The evolutionary trap. So now let's dive into the core problem. Right now, we are living in an information overloaded era. There is so much information about everything, and we have evolved more in the last 100 years compared to previous 1000 years. And so much information is creating this pandemic of overwhelming confusion about life. And many people often connect this confusion to lack of motivation, when the reality is that you don't lack motivation, you lack clarity. Because we have so many different diet styles, and we still have a lot of obese people and unhealthy people. Similarly, look at relationships. There is so many different advice, so many different dynamics of it, but still, like, a lot of people don't feel as connected as they should with other humans. Like, think about freedom. We have so much information about financial freedom, geographical freedom, but still a lot of people are struggling to do it. And all of this is happening because evolution has wired us to seek comfort, pleasure, and the path to least resistance, because this was necessary for our ancestors to survive. They had to conserve energy, avoid unnecessary risk, and they had to eat a high calorie food. That is a completely different video that I made called Evolution of Food. I think you'll like it, check it out anyway. So, in today's time, this evolutionary programming can lead us into traps. We are surrounded by the things that are designed to feel good in the moment but don't really add any long term value to our life, like junk food, social media, endless entertainment, leading us to a path where the life becomes less fulfilling but more chaotic. So let's put this into perspective with a bit of anthropology. Anthropology is basically science of humans, basically the study of human ancestors through space and time. Like if you look at history, the further back you go, there were fewer distractions. Like social media didn't exist 100 years ago, and neither did this barrage of advertisement, processed food, and on-demand entertainment. And this is why I get so passionate about history and evolution, because it gives a clear lens through which we can understand the modern world. And even when I watch Netflix, I watch like the historical documentaries and all the history related stuff. I know they don't show the 100% truth, but I can understand and see through it. The impact on your life. So now let's start with the most important aspect of life, which is your health. And when I say health, I talk about both physical and mental health. Whatever you consume creates your identity, whether it is physical food or mental information, kind of creates your identity. Your health is your foundation. Without that, nothing else really matters. None of your dreams matter. Because you cannot enjoy anything on a wheelchair. And here's the thing that a lot of people get it wrong: the essentials and non-essentials of health. So the essentials of health: a good diet, physical activity, sunlight, your sleep, your knowledge, curiosity, and all those aspects of life which are non-negotiables. And when it comes to diet, we have essential macronutrients, which are like the proteins and fats. Like if you don't eat them, you will die, literally. So now when it comes to non-essentials of health, if I talk about mental consumption, it's binge watching the TV shows, it's mindlessly scrolling on social media, and you finding some random post that hits your confirmation bias that makes you go argue with your spouse and all that unnecessary stuff. And talking about physical consumption, it's the carbohydrates and the alcohol. They have the non-essential macronutrients, which means you are better off reducing their presence in your life. And this should make it obvious how to create your own diet plan by putting 80% of essentials and 20% of non-essentials if needed. Like you can also avoid that 20%, and you'll see how your health improves, unless you have like some weird issue where you're allergic to 99% of the foods. And next up, coming to relationships, it's basically love, family, kids, and all that. These are essential for human experience, and most people often overlook what's truly essential in relationships. And when it comes to essentials of relationships, it's basically genuine love, time, and care. And when I say love, I'm talking about the love that is felt, not heard. You cannot replace its value with anything. And the non-essential of relationships are the social media likes, comments, virtual connections, which don't really give a real depth of human connection. Lastly, let's talk about freedom. In today's time, freedom basically comes from money. It's the financial freedom or the geographical freedom. You need money to do that. However, everybody has their own perspective on freedom, and freedom is not binary. It's a spectrum. We just want to go ahead on that spectrum, because nobody is completely free. And the essentials of freedom are the financial stability, independence, and the ability to take decisions that align with your values. Basically things that gives more control over your life. And non-essentials for freedom would be material possessions and chasing things that the society has programmed for you to chase, which does not align with your own definition of freedom. So basically when people don't have the freedom or don't work towards their freedom, it kind of leaves them in a very dark place. This is a deep topic, maybe another video. Why it matters. Okay, now let me tell you guys why all of this matters. It's not about the food that you eat or the way you spend your time. It's the overall approach towards life. We've developed things like junk food, social media, and entertainment to satisfy our cravings, but these often serve businesses more than they serve us. And this is why I think every human being should understand the concept of business because every business has some sort of manipulation requires for it to run. I'm not saying businesses are bad because I run my own business. What I'm saying is, if you understand this, you can protect yourself from the businesses who puts profits over ethics, which is a lot of big businesses right now. And when you consume so much non-essential stuff, you will slowly drift away from what truly matters. By understanding what's essential and what's not, you regain control over your life. You will start making decisions that align with your true needs and choices, nourishing your mind, body, and spirit. And if you don't start prioritizing what really matters, you will end up wasting a lot of years, and the worst part is that you won't even realize until it's too late. But if you make the shift now, you can truly unlock a life that's not just lived but truly experienced. So now that you understand all of that, here is my 5 step-by-step actionable advice. Step number 1. Use this information overloaded era to your advantage. See, you will never be in a state of not consuming anything. So while you consume information from the internet, make sure you consume the essential things when it comes to health, relationships, and freedom. Step number 2. Understand your purpose. In the modern day, a lot of people don't really have a purpose, or a lot of them don't really know their purpose. And if you want to know your purpose, think about what you truly want. Take your time, think deeply, and if you still can't figure it out, think about the things that you don't want. How do you don't want to end up like? Maybe that can give you a clarity on what your true purpose is. Step number 3. Identify the essentials. Basically, list down all the things that are essential when it comes to health, relationships, and freedom. There is so much information on internet when it comes to these aspects. So just go through it, see what's essential, what you really need for survival, and do the 80-20. Be honest with yourself. Think about what you truly need to survive and thrive. Step number 4. Minimize the non-essentials. Look at your list of non-essentials and start minimizing them. This doesn't mean you have to completely avoid or cut out on these things, which if you don't mind doing it, you can do it. It's basically better to reduce these non-essentials in your life. Basically, going for a 80-20 rule is the best, like 80% essential and 20% non-essentials. Step number 5. Focus on what matters. Put your time and energy into your health, into your relationships, and also in making money or gaining freedom. And when you start focusing on these things, you will slowly start to see that the appeal that you have for the non-essential things slowly start to disappear because they never really matter. So, the conclusion is, the world today is full of distractions. It's easy to lose sight of what truly matters when you're constantly bombarded by things that feel good in the moment but don't contribute to your overall well-being. By focusing on the essentials, your health, relationship, and freedom, you can build a life that's not just good on the surface but truly fulfilling at its core. Basically, you do what's essential and what's important, and you become this person who is essential and important, which kind of gives you that fulfillment. So basically, it doesn't really matter if you're happy or not. I'm not saying don't be happy, but being important should be the first priority, and then comes being happy. Because if you're not important, your soul can feel it. So that's it. If you found this video valuable, or if you think I made sense, follow me, subscribe to me. All the links will be in my description to my newsletter and all my socials. And I'll see you guys in my next video.